Welcome back. We have an update from Myriad Uranium Corp, trades on the OTCQB under the symbol MYRUF and on the CSE under the symbol M. It's a uranium exploration company with an earnable 75% interest in the Copper Mountain Uranium Project in Wyoming. Please welcome Thomas Lamb, President, CEO, and Director. Welcome back. Thomas, what's your update today?
Thanks. Yeah, no, very exciting news that we put out 2 weeks ago, so I'm happy to tell everybody about it. I'll just quickly give everybody a summary for those who don't know. Myriad is a uranium junior. We explore and develop uranium in Wyoming, and we also have a second project in West Africa. It's also exciting. We're a uranium junior that is basically, we've hit the, we've timed things just perfectly. The US, for those of you who don't follow uranium closely, the US is about to repatriate uranium production. 40 years ago, the United States produced about 50 million pounds of uranium a year and consumed it. And now it still consumes 50 million pounds a year, but produces virtually none. All that is about to change. US government, bipartisan basis, is going to repatriate uranium production and refining, and then the production of fuel rods for nuclear power plants. And so this is part of the reason why uranium is the hottest commodity in the world right now. Prices shot up from 30 to 90 pounds and higher and higher. And that is going to continue. So that's a bit of background, and that's why uranium is in the news. And that's part of the reason why Myriad is an exciting company, because of the background of the uranium market in the background. We are exploring for uranium in Wyoming at the Copper Mountain Uranium Project. The project is a surprise. It's a sleeper hit. Just in the last few months, we've discovered that Union Pacific Railway they spent about $74 million US on our project in the 1970s. Estimating resources of between 15 and 30 million pounds of uranium. And then with potential, that means with just more work, of up to 63.8 million pounds. So this is the introduction. We have we've gone from being a small company to having one of the largest uranium projects in the state of Wyoming. And the state of Wyoming is the center of uranium in the United States. So Myriad Uranium, one of the largest projects in Wyoming. And Wyoming is the focus, the center of uranium in the United States. Our recent news was an analysis of historic work done in the 1970s and then reprocessed and analyzed by a company called Anaconda in the 1990s. We have obtained this data, this long lost data. It's proprietary to us now. And we've analyzed it, and what it has told us, which the public does not know, pardon me, what it has told us, what the public does not know, is that we have high-grade uranium in the center of our central pit, what would be the central pit if we had a mining operation. This is the mining operation that Union Pacific Railway had planned in the 1970s. That got cut short by the 3 Mile Island accident. But the news we put out 2 weeks ago was related to 82 drill holes in the center of our area that have very nice high-grade uranium, 1,000 parts per million, 2,000 parts per million, all the way up to 3,850 parts per million. These are high grades for Wyoming. That is the update. It's very exciting. It tells us that we have a very good chance of increasing our grade, increasing our uranium resource. And when we bring it current under these regulations that apply to mining companies, when we bring it current, we could have one of, at the moment, maybe the second largest project in Wyoming and possibly up to the largest. And this is a graph of the uranium projects in Wyoming, and we are the yellow circles in the top left. And these are the higher you go, the bigger the deposit, and the bigger the deposit in tons of ore, and then the bigger the circles, the bigger the project in terms of contained uranium. So we're getting up there. That's the upshot of our recent news. We're an exciting uranium project, so please take a look at us. Here's a little more detail. You can see what we analyzed. This is our project area, although it's much bigger now. And this rectangle here is indicates the drill holes that we talked about in our news release from a couple weeks ago. We have high grade. We understand the geology there, and it's exciting times for us. This is a little bit more about it. And I just want to also add that we're really expanding our acreage. We've added the Knob prospect. It's very close to our license area, and that has added a very exciting exploration prospect. And we're adding a lot more, so stay tuned. Even if you're not investing, please put us on your ticker and watch us, because you're going to see a company that is just on that growth curve that is really fun to watch. Exciting times are ahead for us. Thank you. Anna, maybe you have some questions from the audience.
Certainly exciting times for you all. Talk about your recent news release discussing the historic drilling in the area of special interest. So what do these results mean for Myriad?
So I'll go to this next slide. What they mean for us is that we are a lot closer to being a uranium producer than previously thought. Union Pacific Railway had a mine plan for our area, and we have gone back and we're now analyzing the data, and these drill results tell us a couple things. First, what I mentioned before, there's a lot of high grade, and once we figure that out in terms of a little more drilling and confirmation, we're going to be able to bring up our average grade and volumes. Confident of that. And secondly, and this is a little more detail, this is what it looks like below the ground. The surface is at the top. And if you go deeper, you can see that dotted line. Union Pacific only drilled to about 183 meters. That's this 600 feet. That's not very deep in mining terms at all. What we believe, and we're very confident, is that the high grade that we're intersecting goes deeper, and you can see these red vertical splotches of color. If the high grade goes deeper, which we're very confident it does, that means we're going to have a lot of high grade material. So this drilling tells us we're right at the beginning of an exciting part of our exploration. We're going to be able to develop this license and this project and really bring up the grades. The economics are already good, we think, and they're going to get better.
Brian asks, how far along is Copper Mountain? Talk about its infrastructure.
So this was a very active area in the 1970s. Again, Union Pacific Railway spent $74 million US in today's dollars, building roads, building a leach pad for the mine they had planned. It's an area with lots of historic mines, uranium mines in the 50s and 60s. So things need to be brought up, the roads, the access, et cetera, but it's surprisingly far along. It's not far away from the highway. It's 30 minutes on a dirt road. There are railways, power, everything is close by. And I'll just add that the ranchers that live in the area are excited to have us there. So we're not very far. There are open pits from the historic open pit mining that happened in the 1950s and 60s. So it's partway there, and it's not going to take too much to get us all the way there.
And Thomas, what are you most excited about with the Copper Mountain project?
We have a lot of catalysts coming up. It's exciting times. We're going to be adding more acreage soon. Our historic data tells us that there's a lot more uranium to acquire in the area. This is proprietary data that we have. We're going to acquire data. We're going to bring our historic resource estimates current. That's going to be able to give us a map to producing soon. And I'm excited about the structure of the company. We have very few shares outstanding. 46% are owned by insiders like me. I'm the second largest shareholder in the Nobo list. I don't sell, I buy. And this is going to, our value could increase by an order of magnitude very quickly here and beyond, because we have all this uranium. Compare us against our peers. That's what I'm excited about.
And Carl Padilla asks, are there grants in the uranium space in the U.S. that you can obtain?
Great question, actually. Yes, our peers in Wyoming are getting Wyoming grants, and there's some federal grants. We are exploring that. We have people looking into that right now. Some of our peers are getting those. And This Infrastructure Act was passed in the U.S. A little while ago. Actually, that and some other laws contain a lot of tax credits and other incentives. So all that is ahead for us. We're going to be able to access some of that.
And Chris asks, will the cost to produce increase with the demand? Are they connected, or will cost remain constant no matter what the price does?
Okay, well, that's a good question. No, they shouldn't go up. They should be, the cost of production should be fairly independent. The inputs that we need are things like fuel, wheels for the machinery, cost of explosives, building roads, acid, depending on how you're extracting, separating the uranium from the host rock, et cetera. So it shouldn't, the price of separating the uranium, extracting and separating, shouldn't go up in line with the price of uranium itself. Not our part of the business. They're separate. But prices are going up, costs are going up for all the mining companies, whatever the commodity.
I'm sure. Well, Thomas, do you have any closing remarks for our viewers today?
No, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. Please put us on your ticker and watch us. Even if you don't buy the stock, I think you're going to see something. It's going to play out. It's going to be very exciting.
Wonderful. Thank you for this update.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us on day 1 of our virtual investor conference. We will see you all back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern for our day 2 of our super virtual investor conference. I'll see you tomorrow.